Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the vertical thing again. Sorry. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR, or Stuart, if you want to call me by my first name. So today I'm going to give you a list of vertical games, or Tate mode games you can play on the Switch, that I believe are really good or really utilise the Switch in the best possible way. So before I do anything else, let's guess that picture! I'm not the best artist, guys, but I promise you that it's supposed to be Mario. You gotta remember, I'm filming this in the dark and kind of working out where I've left shapes and kind of figuring colors out. It does look a bit phallic. I'm really sorry for that. But if you enjoy this, if you enjoy me doing this, again, please let us know in the comments down below if you want me to draw a particular character as best as I can. You want to see how bad I'm gonna mess it up. Let us know in the comments. This is really fun for me. I really enjoy this. I've got, I think, another 15 or so to go before I run out of ideas and start a whole new cycle. But yeah, let's go from there. Now, if you don't know what Tate mode is, or if you have no idea that Switch could display things in a vertical way, only certain games can do this. So it really depends on, well, the games you like and the games you play, I guess. But the thing is, with Tate mode, the problem is there's not really much out there in a way to hold your Switch in that way. So, I mean, I found on Etsy the grip that I have, which I showed you before. In fact, I'll do that now. This grip here, as you can see, that's punch out. Or you can find actual stands that kind of deliberately hold the console up vertically as well. Now, why would you want this? There are a lot of games on the Switch that really do involve it, and to be honest, I do think it makes it work better. But if you are a retro gamer like myself, you play old school games, you may have, if you're old enough, you may have gone to the arcade and remember seeing arcade machines with either two screens or kind of more of a vertical kind of sight-like screen instead of the horizontal as you see in this picture right now, for instance. But that means, when they transfer these games over to consoles, modern day consoles, most of them are going to have this display. But because the Switch is so portable and versatile, they can actually have it in its original display mode, which is really, really cool. Punch Out, for instance, as I just showed you there, you have little Mac at the bottom punching away doing his thing, and at the top you have the stats, what's going on in the match, and in the arcade that's how it was, which was just really, really nice. So Super Punch Out, absolutely one game you should play. If you've never played Punch Out before or you don't have an idea of it, there are two versions of it on the Switch. If you have Nintendo Online, you can get Super Punch Out for the SNES and Punch Out for the NES as well. But these versions do not have the Tate mode option. Purely because it was designed to be on a TV, and that was it straight up, I believe, anyway, at least. But yeah, there are different versions. But if you don't know if you like Punch Out, try it on the Nintendo Online, because I didn't think I'd like it. I found myself really enjoying it, and I do not like boxing. I just like my violence fictional. That's why I love WWE and things like that. There are lots of reasons to do this. There are lots of ways you can lots of ways to do this as well, like using stands and grips and stuff, but you have to really search for them. And sometimes, if you're living in the UK, at least, there is one called a flip grip, which I've spoken about before, which is just really expensive purely because of the shipping. So Etsy might be your best bet, maybe find people with a 3D printer, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I did with that down there. And obviously I've spoken about Punch Out. I do think it's a classic game. Again, if you have the consoles, you may know. Play the Nintendo Online, but there are other games on there as well, games that are really, really well suited to this mode. Any kind of top-down shooter, for instance, the Visara Collection. This is, again, top-down shooter style. You go through, you've got a huge amount of enemies to deal with. You've got to be skilled and see where these bullets are going through, and weave your way through, use power-ups, blast the enemies out of the sky. Absolutely great fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself doing this, and I kind of found it on the eShop by just kind of This is how I find most of my vertical games, but I go through and I see a game that has that kind of feel, and I just quickly have a look through the images on the eShop, and if it has 2 black bars either side, or has kind of like just artwork either side, kind of like, it's like a 70% chance it's going to have a Tate mode to it. You know, and you know, the Visara Collection is no exception. The Visara Collection, I've only played a little bit of it, so that's why I'm not talking about it too much. But it is absolutely fantastic. I recommend playing. Again, I just love these type of games, so you know, one of those. But another top-down shooter is something, again, I absolutely love, and I love because I had it on the SNES, or the Super Nintendo. But it's the Twin B, or Pop-In Twin B games. There are several versions of the top-down shooter. On the eShop, you have a full arcade version. You have an arcade version which was lower res, almost like the original Nintendo version. And there's just loads of it on there. But this is a really cute top-down shooter. Not amazingly difficult, but not really that difficult at all. But really fun and really cute because you play these little ships with these little glovey hands, and they're throwing grenades and they're shooting things, and you got to shoot bells out the air, and they give you upgrades, and you got all this you got like this whole different perspective thing. So normally a top-down shooter like this, you just shoot up all the time, shoot up, and you just hit all the enemies that way. But with Twin B, you can throw grenades to the ground and take out the enemies that are on the ground as well, and it's really fun. I'd recommend Twin B to anybody. It's just, it's so cute, it's so good, I love it. Now I'm going to go back to the arcades again for a second. So obviously we spoke about Punch-Out. Now there are really obvious ones that you may not have thought about. Again, depending on your age, you probably have thought about it, but the Donkey Kong game on there. The original Donkey Kong that you play as Jumpman, the original Mario, and you got to climb up the girders to go save Pauline, who was, I'm assuming Pauline is Mario's real-world girlfriend rather than Mushroom Kingdom girlfriend. I don't know, but it's Donkey Kong's a classic. You can't really go wrong with it. You have the old classic tunes, the hammer and all that kind of thing. I love it. I truly, truly love this game. But not amazing expensive. You're talking about £6.30 or so. You know, for a classic game that you can play vertically. So again, Donkey Kong is an absolute classic. But if you had that setup on your table, say you sat on a couch, or you got a coffee table, or you just sat somewhere where you can kind of place your Switch upright and you got a controller and you're just playing away, it honestly looks really cool. If you have one of those arcade cabinets that has the vertical display rather than the horizontal display, or you can switch out, it would look really, really cool in this as well. And then obviously the grips that I have, you know, I've told you about as well. But Donkey Kong being played in this way, I think it's just made for it. It looks better, it sounds, well, it doesn't sound better, but it looks better, and it just feels better in your hand when you're playing portable. When you're on a TV, well, that's a different story altogether. Now, a more modern game that has a vertical base to it is something you may have heard of. In fact, if you go onto eBay, I think, or Amazon, you type in Downwell Flip Grip, you can buy a collection that has both these games. Again, you know, shipping is very expensive, so it's up to you if you want to do that. But Downwell is a really cool game. The whole point of it is to get as far down this well as you humanly possibly can, using upgrades, using different weapons, using different skills, trying to get achievements as well, like trying to get through it without touching a single person, without touching the ground, using only particular weapons. But you play as this little dude who just jumps down a well and he starts shooting things from his feet. You know, it's like little blasters coming out of his feet, and he's just shooting all these like weird crab enemies. There's shops and stuff you can go into and upgrade yourself as much as you can. You can have a big, massive laser, you can have a rocket jump, you can have, there's just loads of stuff in Downwell, and Downwell's great, and it is, I swear, it's pretty much made for Tate mode. And having that in the grip, again, going portable, if you're just out and about, put this grip on, it looks really cool, but people will give you looks, I promise you. They just don't understand what it is at all. They have no idea why you're holding a Switch with a vertical screen. But once they see it, they understand, and they're like, actually, that's pretty cool. I really like that. And I really like it, so that's all good. But Downwell is a really fantastic game for the, I want to say this generation, but the next generation is out now. The Xbox is out, so the previous generation. With this current lineup of games we have, it's a really great game, and I would fully recommend playing it. Another game that is very well suited to the vertical Tate mode is Sky Scrappers. Now you can play this horizontally. In fact, it works very, very well. It's really, really a pretty good game with a very limited kind of button inputs. But essentially, you're playing, I want to say assassins, but you're in some kind of tournament anyway that goes around the world, and you've got to knock people off the building or keep them from getting to the very, very top of the building as the building is just collapsing around you. It's almost like Smash Brothers in that sense. You know, you've got to just keep your guy away from you as much as you possibly can. But you have special moves using katanas. There's lovely anime style throughout the entire game. There is a story as well, which is quite cool. Like I said, I think it's like a tournament going on, but the characters interact with each other. Or, you know, you feel there's going to be something in the background there. But the horizontal side of it is very, very cool. But when you press back, minus, plus, I don't know which one, you can flip the screen to the vertical, and it's so much better. The downside to that slightly is it does zoom out from your characters a bit, so your characters are quite small. But you do have more building to judge, so you can go, right, if I can get to that platform, I'll be ahead of them as best as I can be. And it's a really cool game, and again, all these games I'm mentioning I fully recommend to play. You know, I mean, this is kind of the point of the video. But I am forever looking for games like this, and you know, like skyscrapers, like Downwell, all the arcade games, including Donkey Kong. I'm forever looking for games so I can justify this grip and justify the fact there's a whole mode on the Switch that's just not utilized by anybody. Most people don't even know it exists, and it just bothers me. That's why I do these videos. The reason, the 100% reason I myself decided to get a grip that holds my Switch vertically, or you know, holds my Switch vertically, and I separately bought some stands as well, so I don't have to have the Switch, I can have it on a table as well. Is pinball. Any of the pinball games. There's so many free pinball games on the Switch that kind of give you a couple of boards. Some of them have the same. I think Pinball FX, no, not FX. Pinball Arcade, and there's another one that has just Frankenstein, the Pinball Arcade, Pinball Machine. I can't speak. Now the actual reason I picked up a grip is because I was playing a pinball game. I love pinball. A dream of mine is to have an actual physical pinball machine in my house that I can play every day. The one I actually want is Star Wars Episode 1, because honestly it's a fantastic machine, and people laugh at me when I say that, but it genuinely is a great arcade machine. If that was ever on these games, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I really would. But having the grip and playing pinball that way, it feels more like you're actually playing the actual real machines, because it just focuses on the actual board itself, and it gives you little highlights here and there. You've got different modes where it can kind of zoom in and kind of help you out that way, but having the bumpers right next to the screen, you know, left and right bumpers there, and you're hitting the balls up, and it's just kind of doing pinball stuff, is just wicked. You know, Tate mode is made, like pinball is made for Tate mode, and there's so many free games out there. You have Pinball FX, you have Pinball Arcade, you have Stern Pinball, you have Cicadia. They all have free, it's all free to play games essentially. You'll have free boards that you can play with, and you can really kind of utilize, like I said, the vertical side of things. And you can add to it as you go as well. You pay a couple of quid. Sometimes they're on offer as well. But the personal one I think is the best grouping of these pinball games is probably FX3. Purely because you've got some really cool theme stuff going on. I've actually got a Bob's Burgers, Archer, Family Guy, and American Dad boards on there as well. But you can get Alien. You can get some absolute classics, including like Creature from the Black Lagoon on there. Then you got other. There's just so much to look at. If you enjoy pinball, this is kind of what it's for. So anyway, guys, that is it's my look at the vertical mode or Tate mode on the Switch. And what games you might want to look at. I've given you a decent variety. You've got different types of games throughout. You've got the original arcade styles, you've got solely pinball, you've got top-down shooters, you've got fighting games. There's so much you can really play with and really utilize. And again, finding something just to prop up your Switch isn't amazingly difficult. Finding a grip like I have is a little bit more difficult. If you're in the UK, it's really quite hard. There is like one that's in the States that's really easy to get, but again, shipping. And and having that original arcade feel with certain games, having the original intended mode on it is just really nice feeling. A lot of people don't really care about this. A lot of developers kind of throw it in because why not? But I do think it's really worthwhile, and I think if you play these games, play any kind of games like this, it is, I think, for you beneficial to actually play it with the controller separated, the console in a vertical mode, because it gives you that true experience as best you can. Especially again if you have one of those little arcade cabinets, which I really, really want. I think that'd be really fun. So anyway, guys, that's my video today. Thank you very much for watching The Bear's Den. It's much appreciated. Give us a like, share, subscribe, put comments down below. We have loads of videos available every single week. In fact, every single day, I believe we release at least one type of video. Alex has just done a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit review for PS4. I'd happily recommend that as well. And that's it. But other than that, guys, don't forget to be nice to each other, yeah?